deep in the shadows. I know it's hard to put one foot in front of the other.
Hi guys, CeeChronicles here. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I post fragrance related content and would very much appreciate you joining the family by subscribing. Now, if you're already subscribed and coming back, thank you so much for joining me. I have excess luggage, guys. I'm still not at home. Excess luggage in the sense that I have too many perfumes to carry. So what I thought to do is to do back-to-back reviews of some of the fragrances that I'm going to leave here with the shipping company so that I do not exceed my limit. Okay, I'm still going to pay for them to be shipped, but I'm not going to go with them on air. These are some of the three. This is the first ones I'm going to do. I'm not even going to change the clothing, guys. I'm going to do all of them in the same clothing. If you're traveling, you can relate. So the very first three are going to be from the house of Paris Corner. This is their MAWJ, okay, MAWJ line, and this is the one that comes in the Killian lookalike bottles, or those liqueur bottles, you know, those the whiskey bottles. So I have Moscow Mule, I have Cognac Blaze, and then I have AppleTini. Okay, so remember I told you that AppleTini was one that I had missed in the previous PR. Now Paris Corner did give me, so I'm going to start with Moscow Mule. Please do take note that this is based off first impressions. I thought to do things this way, guys, because shipping these fragrances by sea is going to take another 45 days before I can get them. So instead of them then, you know, bringing them in January, I think it's best to do it this way. Okay, so Moscow Mule sits like this. I don't even have blotters, guys, so I'm gonna just spray what I can in the boxes, and the bottle is pretty much identical to that of the Killian's. All right, now this one comes frosted. So quick first impressions are going to be as follows. Let's just give it a quick spray in here. Okay, so this is the very first time I'm interacting with this fragrance. I never actually, you know, spray these ones even at the beauty world. Okay, what I get is a fresh green aquatic bergamot lemon type of a fragrance with a spicy fizzy kick to it, which could be coming from ginger, or certainly coming from the ginger. It actually interprets the ginger in the same way that I do get the ginger in Bouvari Tiger. You know, not that this is a Bouvari Tiger smell alike. I'm just saying the ginger, if you like the ginger, the way it's done in Bouvari Tiger, you're probably going to like this. It's got the spiciness that comes to the surface there, really vivid in that, you know, fizzy kick of the ginger. And then you get something that's green here, a little bit mossy, a little bit minty as well. Okay, so this draws inspiration from Killian's Blue Moon Ginger, a fragrance that I interacted with once in the duty-free shop, and it was a fragrance that I was not going to purchase, or it's not something that I intend to purchase the actual thing, simply because it does give me that underlying, you know, masculine tone to it, and I do get that from this as well. Here I feel, or this could have the vodka note, because there is something in here that's coming across as alcohol like, not boozy in a way, but like an alcohol kick to it. That vodka kick is included in here, although the notes from Paris Corner do not include that. So yeah, I do get a masculine tone to this fragrance, which is something that's going to be favored by men. You know, 80%, 85% of men are going to like this one because it does have that masculine vibe to it. However, if you're a woman and you like blue tone fragrances, you know, masculine leaning fragrances, you could totally wear this. Okay, and now that I am like a few minutes in, I'm getting like dry woods in this. So it does have a little bit of a woody tone to it, but I wouldn't call this woody. I wouldn't say if you're looking for a woody fragrance, go for this. The woodiness is coming as green, you know, that cypress woodiness, it's green. So yes, that is what I can say about this one. The DNA in itself feels as though it could potentially be a little bit long lasting because of the spicy tone. All right, I would have wanted to open them like this, but it's not budging. The next one is going to be Cognac Blaze. I skipped this one specifically because I think I kind of know what to expect with this one. This, I don't know what to expect, but I think they were going for something in the same vein as Angel's Share. So I just want this over and done with, right? If it's going for that. Hopefully it's a twist. Okay, so this is Cognac Blaze, comes in the same packaging as the rest of them. The juice is a little bit darker, so I'm gonna presume there's gonna be some maybe vanilla in here. This is the close-up of Cognac Blaze, another one that actually looks like the Angel's Share bottle. If you have used the Angel's Share bottle, you will know that. Okay, so let's see if my inkling that this may have vanilla is gonna be correct. All right, so I do certainly get an Angel's Share kind of smell alike in this, but there is something in here that is a twist. The twist I'm getting in here is a rich sandalwood. So this is certainly not a 101, but if you're one of those people that are pretty much exhausted with the Angel's Share, maybe your nose may not be able to go past that. I'm getting a more vivid vanilla in this, and there is a coffee note. A coffee note that's more prominent than that you get from Camera Kawa. So this is not going for the Kawa, right? No, is it going for the camera? It's not a camera smell alike, it's not a Kawa smell alike, despite the fact that I do get a coffee in here. The coffee in here is more prominent than that which I get in the Kawa. This is why I'm saying it's not that. But at the same time, there is that underlying thing that you get from the Angel's Share, right? Which is a rich, spicy, concentrated feel of a fragrance there. I'm not sure whether this one is actually bringing the dates to the surface, you know, but I am getting a little bit of a fruity tone, but it's not giving me the dates in the way I get them, you know, in the Angel's Share, which is why I'm saying this is probably a twist. It's actually giving me more of a coffee. Something in here is also citric, like a sweet citrus, possibly a mandarin. That is what I get from here, and of course a richness of a tonka. So there is that note missing, essentially that date note that is missing in here. What this becomes is a concentration of some spices there, black pepper, of course, a sweetness of the vanilla, and a rich sandalwood. So this is more sandalwood forward than, you know, what you get from the actual Angel's Share, without of course straying too much. In terms of comparison, I'm going to say if you love Angel's Share, obviously you're going to love this, but it's going to give you maybe 30-40% of that DNA, and then it shifts to that coffee direction, you know, to that rich sandalwood direction. The sandalwood is actually very prominent in here, and of course that vanilla. So yes, I love the twist. However, when it comes to this, perhaps it's one of those that's coming a little bit too late, because the Angel's Share DNA in itself, guys, has been overly done to an extent that playing around with that DNA like now is just, you know, one of those things that mental shortcut, somebody looks at it and says, really, if you know what I mean. So that's the only thing I can take away from this. I mean, the fact that I have to explain it through, but pairing it with a fragrance that's been overly done, I mean, super overly done, is the only con to this. However, yes, if you love your Angel's Share, then you are gonna like it. I'm only noticing now that they did put this thing in brown here. So this to me is just going to maybe mean that this is woody, because yes, this is a woody kind of a fragrance. And yes, having said that, it says warm, spicy, woody. So I think this brown is just depicting the fact that it is woody, and of course has that coffee note and the vanilla. So nice one. Another one that feels a little bit concentrated in terms of, you know, how it's feeling the scent bubble around me. I'm going to say this one probably has a little bit more projection than the real thing, if that's going to be a deciding factor for you. So yes, that is what I can say about this one. And having said that, let me put the Moscow Mule here on top. I think that's a good idea, and then I'm just going to give you a summary before I leave. Now the last one, of course, from the range is going to be AppleTini. Okay, now AppleTini, I'm going to presume is going to have that apple, of course, because then why call it AppleTini? And I think apple and tini would mean that it's got maybe martini, or it's got a boozy note in it, which is included. So let's find out, guys. All right, so that's the close-up. By now you pretty much know what to expect. And then this juice comes in this lime apple thingy, like a green apple, you know, type of a fragrance. So I'm hoping this one is going to be drawing its inspiration from Apple Brandy, a fragrance that I completely love, and I do have a little miniature of it in my collection. So this shouldn't be too much of a problem for me to decipher whether it's 101 or it is, you know, an inspiration. Okay, so yeah, offset, you're going to get that sparkling, even aquatic, green apple. That is what is prominent in this fragrance, guys. An apple, just imagine the greenness of an apple. And an apple note here kind of reminds me of how the apple is blended in Swiss Arabians, Valencia, or Starry Nights. You know, there is that apple in Starry Nights that then mixes with the bergamot and stuff. So that is kind of the opening that I get in here. However, that apple does not just maintain a crispness in this. So the apple does not remain linear in its crispness. The apple mixing with the bergamot and that bitter cardamom stays there, but kind of makes way to the boozy accord in this fragrance. And the booziness in this is a mixture of that rum as well as a brandy. But what I like about this is it doesn't make it very, very like drunken boozy, if you will. It gives you wafts of as though you're drinking a cocktail, if you know what I mean, where it's not coming across as though you've just opened a bottle of brandy and it just hits you there. That's not what I get here. I get like a fusion of that rum and the brandy, but careful enough to maintain the fact that this is a fragrance. So it doesn't have that thing where you're going to be reeking of alcohol, if you know what I mean. So I quite like this. And in that mix of that apple is going to be a pineapple, so it's going to be dependent on your nose whether you're able to transition between the two, but you are going to feel that that crisp green apple is working with something else. So it is fruity, aquatic, a little bit green, crisp, boozy, but without being drunken, that sort of thing. And I would say of the three that I have, this is probably the lighter one, but again, this is first impressions. This may very well brew to become something that has more depth and deeper, but I get a lighter take in here, which is something that I actually get from the original. This I'm going to say is 80-85% close to the original, because I do have the original. So with this one, they didn't tweak it that much. You're going to have wafts off, or it's going to be a great alternative if you're looking for something that's maybe lesser pricey. But in terms of depth, in terms of lasting power, I'm going to rate them, as follows. That this is going to be the one that's got the richness, the lasting power, the depth, and the lushness to it. And then followed by this one that gives me a summer vibe, but because it has the moss and that ginger, it's quite piercing to an extent that I am getting a fragrance that's shouting here in the Moscow Mule that I am getting in here. Not that they're the same, but they're from the same line, so this is why I am rating them. And then this one is going to be the one that's safe, for both genders, whether you're a woman or a man, you can totally wear this. It's going to appeal to you if you love, of course, that crisp apple as a note in there, working of course with the pineapple, and then a little bit of some booze, but without it straying. This gives me summer vibes, but with the potential to transition to other seasons, because it doesn't only become a fresh fragrance, it becomes fresh, a little bit boozy, a little bit of everything actually, a little bit of vanilla, and all that. So that is what I can say. I'm going to revisit these ones when they arrive at home, and then I'm going to tell you to what extent they would have changed, because obviously in 45 days these fragrances would have macerated and the strength would have been better, guys. So I'm not going to give you lasting power. I just gave you, in terms of DNA, what I think is going to hold up more, which is this one, okay, the Cognac Blaze, followed by of course the Moscow Mule, and then lastly the AppleTini. CeeChronicles is my name. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me today. Let's meet in the comment section where we discuss more about fragrances. Let me know your thoughts on this. Do you like them? Do you think Paris Corner was a little late on the game? I'd say maybe for this one, but these two haven't really made the rounds. Okay, I was thinking maybe this one is going to be a Roses on Ice, which is something that we were given by Fragrance World, but it's not. Okay, so this and this, I think they were a little bit of a fast fingers first day when it comes to these two DNAs, but this one might come across as washed up to some of you. Remember to turn on post notifications, guys. That way you get to be notified anytime I upload a video. Like and share this one, and remember that smelling good is a form of good manners. Cheers.